Hi, my name is Aigul. I'm a tour guide from Kyrgyzstan. So today I will introduce you to a dish called plov, which is popular not only in Central Asia but also in Azerbaijan and Turkey, known as pilav, and also in India, known as pilau, which is actually from Hindi translated as boiled rice. So according to the legend, the recipe was created by a cook of Amir Timur. Amir Timur, the great commander and ruler from Uzbekistan who lived in the 14th century. So the reason why his cook came up with this recipe because it consisted of very basic ingredients that would last for a long time during the military campaign to Turkey. So the recipe is quite simple and I will introduce you in a second. Asia, normally we make plov with either beef or lamb. You can also use chicken if you like, but today we're gonna make a vegetarian style of plov. So let's start with the rice. This is the rice that we use. As you can see, it's quite long and whole. It's called lazer. If you're in Italy, you can use arborio as a substitute for this rice. In Spain, it's called pom, same type of rice that you use in order to make paella. And in Japan, you can use nishiki rice. In India or Pakistan, you can use basmati rice. So before we start making the dish, we need to wash the rice, get rid of the trash, fill it up with water, and then we continue to other ingredients. So we wash the rice with warm water. Make sure you don't lose the rice while washing it. So as you can see, the water gets more transparent. Alright, we just washed the rice. We washed it in warm water and we soak it like this for about 45 minutes to an hour along with raisins. And here we also add warm water and soak it for the same time to let it soften. Then we have chickpeas here. Chickpeas I soaked 24 hours before, so I soaked it yesterday. I added half of a teaspoon of baking soda and put it in the fridge to make sure it doesn't get spoiled. Then here we have salt, vegetable oil, garlic, onions. We call these spices zire. It's for the flavor. Abroad it's also known as cumin. Then we have apricots to add into our plov, and we have of course carrots. Alright, so let's start cooking. Let's start with the onions. So we take it, split it in half, and just cut it. Alright, next we take the carrots. Try to make them all similar size so they cook evenly. So now we take a few and cut them this way. So we're done cutting, let's do the frying. So we turned on big fire. Let's wait until it gets hot a little bit and then we add the vegetable oil. Alright, so the oil is heated up. Let's add the onions. So we fry the onions until it becomes toasty, caramelized and toasty. Our onions are ready. Let's add the carrots. Fry them for another 5 to 6 minutes. Let's add some salt. Carrots are ready. Let's add water. 1 liter of water. So the water is boiling. Let's put chickpeas. We get rid of the water first and then put it inside. And right away we make the fire slow. So we boil it for another half an hour before we add the dry fruits. Alright, so let's try. Yep, we could add a bit more salt. So now we add the apricots and the raisin. We get rid of the water. Alright, so now we mix it up. Alright, so now we put the rice, but before we do that, we need to increase the fire. Otherwise, our rice will turn into a mess like a porridge. So now we get rid of the water. Alright, and add the rice. We need to add a little bit more water, just to make sure that the water and the level of water is the same as the level of rice. Alright, so after 5 minutes, we need to mix up the top part of the rice. As you can see, in some parts they're like white rices, so they need to be equally distributed on the surface of the rice. And then we leave it for another 10 minutes until the water is evaporized. Alright, let's turn down the fire. So now we need to make a tower out of our rice, just to make sure that the edges of the rice don't get burnt and also it steams better. To add flavor to our rice plov, we add the garlic. Be careful, the pot is quite hot. And then we add zire, as we call it, also known as cumin. We just try to smash it with our hands and then disperse it on top of the rice. So now we just close it and boil it for another 20 minutes, 20-25 minutes under slow fire. Alright, so 25 minutes have passed. Let's check our plov. Looks like it's ready. Alright. If we were to make it with beef, like with any type of meat, you would leave it on slow fire for 35 minutes. But since it's vegetarian plov, 25 minutes is just enough. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Our plov is ready, and here I am sitting in Tapchan. It's a Central Asian sitting area, and here is our plov. You can take a look. I have decorated with chicken eggs. You can also use the quail eggs. There is pepper here, raisins, the apricot. So let's see how it tastes. Yummy. You can also use the salad. This salad is a very popular salad in Central Asia. It's called Chakara, and it's made with tomatoes, onions and pepper. With a little bit of ground pepper, it gives a really good spicy sauce, a spicy taste I mean, and it's perfect for the plov. So enjoy your meal guys, and see you next time.